Okay, dear.
Welcome to Instant Discussions. This episode...
Part 2!
Part 2?
Wait.
How is it part 2?
Never
No,
mind.
this is the first part. This isn't a movie about time travel. You can't do that.
Oh.
I don't
Okay.
know what you're doing there.
This is Fargo. We are discussing Fargo. The movie Fargo. That is called Fargo. That takes place partially in Fargo. But
And
not
it's a bank.
Tommy Park.
It's in Fargo?
So, this movie, which is directed by the Coen brothers, it is a film about stuff happening in the middle of nowhere, as it says on the DVD cover of this award series of Fargo. Does it have like the regular thing in here? I've never really looked at this DVD. Oh, look, there's the regular part of that. Fargo, the movie we're talking about here. It's also a movie about a weird-looking fella who,
He's kind of weird looking.
yeah, he's weird-looking in the normal, the
Kind
usual,
of general sense.
the general weird-looking kind of
Yeah.
way. And a trail of dead bodies that follows behind him. And people aren't used to that stuff.
Although they seem kind of used to it.
Yeah, the crazy stuff happens in Fargo. That's pretty much what the movie's about there.
I just didn't know that it snowed in Fargo, in North Dakota.
Yeah, that was
I don't know why.
that was a surprise. So
I think of corn, but I know it's not corn.
you
But
picked
I
this
think
movie.
about it.
This
I
is
did.
1996 black comedy, as it says.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Fargo calls it, Wikipedia calls it a black comedy, although I didn't remember it being called Tyler Perry's Fargo, but that's all right.
Black exploitation film. Oh, man.
This
Why'd
is
you pick
the
this?
continue because he wanted to continue with our series of crime movies that we were going in, and he wanted to revisit our earlier discussions about Steve Buscemi. Right?
No,
Thanks for letting us know, Tony.
because I really just when I was a kid, I liked the movie because of the ending, and I
Yes.
haven't watched it since then, and I just always remember the ending.
And by the ending, you mean...
Not
We
the
all
ending.
know what.
It means not the ending. Spoilers alert, as we do all the time on this.
Since that's the kind of point of the show.
I need to create a new opening graphic thing that does a huge spoiler.
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
I'll probably
That's
make
a good
that.
idea.
Maybe it'll be on this episode. Probably not.
With a
I'm
cat.
Too busy. A cat?
There's a cat right here. Spoilers, and he runs off.
We'll do that.
You don't.
All right. So you liked this movie as a kid, and now you're bringing it back here. Now, did you see it when it first came out then? Because you're an old man, and this movie came out in '96.
No, I watched it like on VHS or
Okay.
DVD. I forgot which one.
You were like a kid at that time.
No, I was in high school.
Okay.
Okay.
Not a kid.
No.
I watched this movie when I was a kid.
Okay, I was in high school when I watched this, and I loved.
I-
Of course, I remember the ending. Like, this is amazing.
I can't remember how young I was when I watched this because I looked at it and did the math on how old I was at the time. I'm like, I remember that the reason that my parents allowed me to watch it was because it was an Oscar-nominated movie. And so it was the thing of, it's an R-rated film. I'm way too young to be watching an R-rated film. But
Yeah.
this is a really good film, so I can watch that. The same thing happened with a few other films that were R-rated. You know, if it was nominated or won Best Picture, then I could watch it. So good job, Academy, by picking movies that are not appropriate for families.
Well, I watched this. I watched
I
this
can only
with
imagine
my-
nowadays. Oh, yeah, you can watch Django Unchained.
Yeah, I watched this
it's
with
cool.
my son, and he was just like, it was alright.
Well, the interesting thing is I don't remember the sex scenes in the movie, and it could be that just my child brain didn't process that the same way and remember it,
Or
or it's because
wrestling.
we checked it out from Blockbuster and they edit that stuff out.
Clean
one of the
flicks.
two.
Yeah.
This was actually a movie that they way back in our first episode of
episode.
Clean Flicks,
Yeah.
they came up with a scene from this movie. The scene where she's interviewing the two women in the bar.
Yeah.
They say that he was a funny looking guy. How kind of funny looking? Well, he wasn't circumcised. So,
Right.
which they cut out and took that whole great point out of the movie.
That's a really important part. Like, I wouldn't be
is.
able to follow the movie without that.
The second time that scene happens where someone's calling him funny looking, that man, I
Oh,
was really
yeah.
hoping, like, say it. Say he wasn't circumcised. Do it. Do it. He didn't do it. That would have been great.
That
If it
would've
was,
changed
if this
the
was
whole
a
movie.
different kind, more a comedy than a dark comedy.
No,
If this was Airplane,
I would not have wanted him to
No,
say
I
that.
wouldn't want that in a Coen Brothers film, but it's a joke like we're expecting in this Seth MacFarlane type world of something, and you're
Right.
looking for that type of movie. So, your first experience watching this movie, how?
What?
No, I've seen it before.
I was
Yes.
gonna say.
No. I was asking, what is your first experience watching this
Oh,
movie?
God, I don't know.
Yeah, everyone's seen Fargo. Come on.
Zoom.
I don't know. I was clearly young because I don't remember.
That's kind of what it is with me. I don't remember. How old it
Except for
was.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone only remembers. If you only remember
It's
one
like
thing
that
about Fargo.
Simpsons joke.
Well, you were.
You're that guy that was playing to the wood chipper in Fargo.
I'm also known as Steve Buscemi. No, you're the guy who was fed into the wood chipper in Fargo.
Yep.
The only other thing I remember is the accents.
Oh
I think
yeah,
it's the Minnesota accent, but it's North Dakota. But it's oh, you betcha.
You betcha.
And then I was trying to like mimic it, but I kept on going into the Irish accent.
You keep going Irish.
Oh, you betcha, laddie.
You betcha, laddie. Oh, don't you know?
So, what's your favorite part of this movie?
I mean,
aside from the whichever part, what's your favorite part of the movie? That's the standard.
The
default.
funniest thing to me was when she's interviewing the hookers. I could not stop laughing.
That's a good scene.
And like you watch the
And
first scene, and you see him like having sex, but then you see him up close, and one looks like a Cabbage Patch Kid. Like, it was so weird.
Yeah. And yet there are some video rental companies that wanted to edit that part, and not edit it out, but just edit out parts of that one. How
That part was so funny.
Edit this brilliance. Why would you do that?
I kept on thinking. I was like, why did they bang them? But then I was like, why did they bang them? Like, who had the upper hand? I don't know. It was very confusing.
It's Fargo. Nothing much happens there.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. I think my favorite thing in the movie was watching the politeness of everyone
Oh, yeah.
and how it's so much of a put-on face of they're just going through days and wanting to be polite and being polite.
Oh, yeah.
And you know they've got their sub-motives in there, and deep down they're like might be angry at someone or
Like that Mike guy.
yeah.
The call at 12 midnight.
Oh yeah, no, it's okay. And she sits on the same side. No, it's all right. He's just, and then he breaks. But watching people break their good nature too, which happens also in that interrogation scene towards the end, when he's just. He breaks his part and just a little bit, but he's still trying to be nice. I gotta be nice and saying that, but she just breaks down and goes, "Okay, being hostile. I'm just trying to. Everyone's trying to be nice and trying to be happy, and as soon as one person breaks it, and then it's just like can go into chaos at any moment there. And so you can tell that those killers aren't from that area because they're not. Just that they don't have that mentality there. They just remind me of Canadians too, kind of that kind of way.
Yeah.
People just being so nice.
Yeah.
Friendly, happy.
And their little flapping heads.
Yes.
Beady eyes.
So how about Canadians? I don't know if they'll watch this one as much as they'll watch the Trailer Park Boys.
Well, they might
episode.
now since we've been insulting them.
Since we insulted, they like when we insult them, buddy. What about you? What's your favorite part of the movie? What's your favorite thing about the movie? Favorite part other than the wood chipper?
Actually, that wouldn't be.
No, we accept it. The wood chipper is the
Yeah,
best part. It's fine, but
sure. Besides
agree.
that,
Go on.
No, my favorite scene, and it's not even like an important scene at all, but I freaking love it. And we actually just, is that guy, that random dude, the bartender telling that random cop his story.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's another thing I love about the movie is
it was so good.
the way it's pieced together. Just the guys just telling their stories about this crazy stuff that's going on around there, and then just going back to. I was like, so they killed this. He said he killed that guy and did that.
They said they were heading over to the lake, and he came in. He said, "Oh, you don't know how desperate I am out there trying to get some, And
I'm going crazy out there.
Crazy out there."
And then he called me a jerk,
said,
except he didn't use the word jerk there.
Yeah.
See, but you were changing into Irish accent
Yeah.
right now in the middle of it.
And then he just goes back to saying, looks like it's gonna be cold tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just going about
the
their
cop's
way.
like, "Oh, it's probably nothing."
Yeah.
No, you know what's funny too? His character, I'm sure, like told everybody the story about him telling the cop the story.
You got it.
Oh man, had a crazy day last week, eh?
What else is going on there? The whole movie's about a movie taking place in the middle of nowhere, and this
Well, it's
action
North
happening in the
Dakota,
middle of
right?
nowhere. Yeah. The tagline on the DVD is "A lot can happen in the middle of nowhere," so that's
Keywords can.
it can happen, but it doesn't necessarily.
Not really.
Although this was based on a true story from 1987, so
Mhm.
this stuff actually happened. Although people's names were changed.
Except it happened in Compton with
Yes.
black folk.
Yes. What? All right. What was your least favorite part about this movie?
I mean, it's not really a least favorite part, but I just hated the guy,
Well, the William H.
the
Macy,
car salesman.
his character.
I just hated
Of course.
the shit out of him.
course you gotta hate
And
it.
they did such a good job of
Terrible.
making you hate him, and I just hated everything about him. He's such a douchebag.
I really wanted him to kill himself.
Oh, that'd have been great.
Yeah.
Or have somebody kill him. I would have been fine with either one.
I would have been happy with killing himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could. I mean, he still gets his good. We see the start of his comeuppance at the end.
Because then at least
Taking it.
it would have been like, okay, at least this guy knows what the fuck he's done. And
I mean, he started all of the craziness in this.
his wife's dead. His wife's dad is dead.
Yes.
Because of him.
And his kid
But
gets to grow up with nobody.
Part of it is he's terrible for all of that. He's terrible for all the things that he did with that. However, in the beginning, you look at the intentions of this, and it's I mean the terrible. He wants him to kidnap the wife. He's trying to do it in the nicest way of just take her, and then we're gonna give it back. No harm's gonna come to her or anyone. Just gonna get this money. Everyone's get the money. She's gonna come back, and it'll all be fine.
Yeah.
That's what he's hoping for. He's just too stupid to realize that that's not how it's gonna simply work, and then things go out crazy from there. Because first of all, you don't just trust people to do that. If they're willing to do that, then
And for 40,000 or 80,000, whatever.
yeah. All right. So my least favorite part of the movie. I mean, I liked that I disliked him. So
Well, because I couldn't think of anything else really
him.
that I didn't like.
But I agree. He is terrible. Oh, William H. Macy. He's good at playing that kind
He's
of
a cool
thing.
guy.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. But
He's all right.
he keeps
I met him.
getting put in these
I did
roles.
too. He showed me a magic trick
No.
Oh, really?
with the thumb.
Oh, he showed me the trick with the pencil.
I just took a
So
photo of him.
Just loser.
I know, right?
picture didn't happen.
I'm jealous. He didn't show me
You
that.
take a picture of a dick pic with him?
So anyway, but he keeps getting put in these roles of just
What
like
other roles
people.
is he in? I'm
Well,
trying
we'll
to
talk about that
think.
in the extended.
Okay.
So Steffan, what did you hate about this movie?
The wood chipper.
Yeah. Aside from the wood chipper, of course, what did you hate about this movie?
I actually don't think I hated anything about it. I was trying to think about it, and
You hated that Tony was the one who picked it.
I couldn't think of anything. And like even because like this movie somehow, and this is one of the things that's probably that I should have mentioned in what I liked, what was my favorite thing. But I wanted to point out that scene, and I think as far as like favorite thing about the film, another favorite thing would be they took all these slow moments and like it was just still so good.
You get
Even
the
in the
tension
slower-
in the moments, and then you also
Yeah.
get the just laughing at the silliness of the awkwardness
Of
in
the
in
culture,
moment. So
the local, yeah.
it's either Ted's or it's that.
But as far as like something I don't like, I mean, I guess off the top of my head, I just thought of something that I thought was kind of silly, maybe in a slightly bad way.
Mhm.
Was the red jacket kid that got killed? I'm just like thinking of like his reactions and. But that's like really like I'm trying to.
Yeah, you're trying to find something.
I'm trying.
Actually,
to find
going back to
something
that point, the
desperately.
one thing that I didn't like was like the sheriff like sticks his head in. He's like, "Hey guys, what are you doing?" And he like reaches over and grabs him by the hair.
He wasn't going as. He's going kind of in.
He had the fucking gun. He could have just pulled it out.
That
and
was a
shot
plot
him.
hole where I just did suspense of disbelief here.
He could have just
However-
went boom, but he's like.
The thing you also have to worry about with plot holes in movies about that are based on true stories is, I mean, they've got to find things, but there's a good chance that did happen, and maybe not in that exact same way, but they're trying to recreate.
Exactly.
Yeah, it could not be in that same way, but that guy probably got killed in that. But I think before any of these murders has happened, if you're the first guy getting murdered in this train of things, you don't usually have this kind of stuff happening. He's not expecting that to happen there at all, so he's just
In North Dakota.
not being careful at all.
Yeah.
So once that starts happening, maybe people start being careful, but it's still like they don't expect that up in Fargo. If he was a cop down in LA, of course he'd shoot people and then say, "Give me your license and registration." But whatever.
Oh, I loved how he pulled out the $100 bill too.
Yeah,
That's so
Just had
smooth.
it there. What are you showing me there? Just showing you my registration. You know.
That was about as smooth as like you can try it there.
Yeah, it's the
Just take care of it right
It's
here.
the is it cool, is it not cool kind of way. And if it's not cool, it's like what do you mean I was trying to bribe you? Oh no. Anyway, let's go on to ratings for this movie. Stefan.
On a cliff. I'll go with a 4-star.
All right. I had this one originally on Netflix listed as 4 stars.
What?
That's what Netflix actually also predicted for me as well.
I don't know the prediction. I have to take away the thing and do all that. But I think I'm gonna keep it at the 4 stars. I'm gonna go with the solid. I think how I found it there. So how about you? Since guy who picked the movie.
A solid 4.5 stars. Solid. Like a rock.
You went in and you had to call up Netflix to specially
I did.
let
I
them
sent an
allow
email
you to give it 4.5
to customer
stars.
service at netflix.com,
Mm-hmm.
and they decided to put it in at 4.5.
Yeah.
I didn't know they could do that, but they can.
I mean, if you ask them, they'll let you do that on specific movies,
Mhm.
1-to-1. You'll have to call them each time.
Yes, so go ahead, and I suggest that our audience all tries that.
Yes.
And this was just one of those films where it was fantastic, but it didn't quite
Yeah.
measure up to what I hold in my 5-star.
I was worried in rewatching it
no
that it
Avatar.
wasn't going to be as great as I thought it was because I had seen it when I was so young.
I was
and-
pleasantly surprised in
Yes,
that way as well.
I was very pleased that it held up. It was a great movie to watch, and it's Coen Brothers. I mean,
It's
I'm
kind
gonna
of.
give it.
It actually is a little
I
timeless.
only like half of the
Timeless.
Coen
It's
Brothers
pretty
movies.
timeless, and
Pretty
because
timeless.
it's a '96 film about a 1987 event, so they're already doing a period film there. So you're not trying to like worry about the technology being off or anything, or them trying to be present day when it then becomes dated. So I think because you're doing, even though it's only
Although that might just be
10,
for, for our generation of the generation that grew up without cell phones.
but it's 9 years in the past of the time, but it's still they had to get everything accurate for that time and place. So I think that kind of helps it hold up, and also I don't know, just being good filmmakers, they made it hold up.
I can only imagine like a child these days going like, "What the fuck kind of phone is he using?
Yeah.
Phone on the wall."
Yeah. Well, they had that in Napoleon Dynamite. So.
I was looking at the walkie-talkies because they're really old.
Who
All right,
watches
so
that film.
What?
The film's
Well,
awful.
all right,
That's
so
the
next
best
week we're
movie
going to be
ever.
watching
I'm gonna hate
Napoleon
that film.
Dynamite.
Yeah,
And-
America.
Nope. Wait. No,
And-
we're not.
And John said period piece.
He did say period.
It was? No, it wasn't. This was not a period piece. She was pregnant.
Yeah.
So before we get on,
I get you.
we're gonna talk next week about
Whose choice is it?
I think it's my choice, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Then next week, I really wanted to continue in the crime movie thing,
Ooh.
except I thought that's stupid because we've been talking about a lot of crime movies. So
Human
why would I
Centipede.
continue doing that? There's so many great movies.
Oh,
out there on
Archer,
it.
the
So
fourth
I'm gonna
season.
pick-
I know. I've been watching.
we're gonna pick the entire series of Archer. No.
Or Venture Brothers.
Hold on. I've got a movie here that we're gonna talk about, and it's a movie that you guys might have seen.
He's not prepared
already.
at all.
Right, eeny, meeny, miny.
So, what was your favorite murder in this one? In Fargo.
Hold on, guys.
Wood chipper.
That wasn't a murder.
He didn't die at the wood chipper. He died
Yeah.
from the shovel to the neck.
Yeah, but it was part of it.
Well, it's not him dying. Well, fine. Okay, other than that.
Again, other than the wood chipper, what's your favorite?
I like just when the car was flipped over and he's just like,
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
that was pretty good.
Next week we'll be discussing a little movie called Indie Game, the movie.
Oh, that. Okay.
Ah!
I have that whole video game collection on my computer, so I might
Yeah.
play some more of that now.
Me too. So we'll be discussing that. Maybe discussing some of the games that are in it. I'm gonna, this isn't a huge movie with spoilers in it, but there are spoilers in some of it. But still, I'm gonna tell you a little more about the movie because we haven't done that a lot recently because we've been doing movies that we don't talk about. But Indie Game the movie is a documentary about the world of developing indie video games.
I think this is
Independent
on my
video games.
queue. I just haven't watched it.
You haven't watched it yet?
Mm.
Great. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I watched this
Same here.
when it came out, recent film, and it came in a Humble Bundle.
Yeah, I have it for the
Some
Humble
other
Bundle.
games.
I don't know what that is.
So if you ever we'll talk more about humblebundle.com next time.
What?
He's lying for the camera. Stop trying to eat that. All right.
No, I don't know what Humble Bundle is.
We'll talk.
Talking about a period piece.
Yeah, period films.
All right. We'll talk more about Fargo right now.
About
Yes,
period
thanks for watching
sex.
and listening. Podcast.
Yeah.